Salute, salute, salute. Bow. Proper salute from Nocturnal Thoughts. Everybody out there in YouTube, boxing YouTuberverse, all my subscribers, everybody out there who my voice may reach in the lifespan of this YouTube video. Salute to you. Blessings, peace. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. Um, First of all, real quick shout out to two people I want to shout out real quick. First is Castle Kingside. Go over to Castle Kingside and check him out. Um, I just stumbled upon his YouTube channel earlier tonight um, by way of Real Talk Boxing. He did a recap on Real Talk Boxing versus Biker Dave. And I'm like, this is an interesting dude. Samoan, huge. I mean, his shoulders don't even fit in the frame of the camera. I seen a picture that he had on his channel. I binged watched some of his stuff. I seen a picture that he posted next to Cali Muscle, and I'm sure everybody knows who Cali Muscle is, and he damn near just dwarf Cali Muscle. You know what I'm saying? Um, and his mentality, a lot of his stuff is right off the cuff, but he thinks the same way I think. I just have to reconfigure the way I deliver on YouTube because I have a limited amount of time. I try to put my videos in a condensed amount of time, but he just lets his stuff, you know what I'm saying, flow. But his thoughts are all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But he's on point. Trust me. Castle Kingside. A lot of people, I was reading the comments, a lot of people was comparing him to, you know, The Rock, Dwayne, The Rock, and, you know, an artist. One thing that I noticed on his platform is he is an artist. And I love illustrations. I love art. To me, bodybuilding is an art. Um, Boxing is an art. YouTube content creators, it's a form of art. This dude, Castle Kingside, he just cut from the same cloth. He's talking about He-Man, the reboot of He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and I mean, just go check him out. Salute to Castle Kingside. Yo, man, I can't wait to really dig into the content and look into the the thought process. I can just see already he gonna take off into the YouTube stratosphere. Period. And another guy I wanted to shout out real quick was Biker Dave, man. Biker Dave, the guy who sparred, who had the exhibition with Real Talk Boxing. Holla back on my platform. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna check out some of his content. I'm gonna subscribe to his video, to his channel. I'm gonna check out some of his videos. He's into the wrestling scene, but I'm gonna check him out. You know what I'm saying? Each one teach one. Everybody can learn something from everybody. Period. Point blank. So shout out to Biker Dave, man, and go subscribe to his channel. You know what I'm saying? Check him out. So a few little boxing topics. I'm gonna bring them up, knock them down, get them out the way, because they not, it's nothing that's um, of a bunch of content and substance, and it's not a lot of, what I'm saying, meat on the bone right now. Boxing is kind of scarce, you know what I'm saying? But the biggest fight right now is the Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence, and I try to stay away from a lot of the content because it's just so lopsided one way or the other way, and I'm just neutral on it. I think Errol Spence is going to pull off the victory, but I think it's going to be a great fight. Respect to both fighters. They both humble, they both professional, and I think it's going to be a passing of the torch in a very, very respectable way. And I think Manny Pacquiao is going to do the ultimate service to boxing and putting on a great, grand performance. And he's winning no matter what. This is a win-win-win for boxing, in my opinion. No need to put hate and to you know it's just so over the board. If you're going for Pacquiao, it's over the board. If you're going for Spence, it's over the board. It's ridiculous. But the sparring, the leakage, like everything you see of Manny Pacquiao is just crazy, ridiculous, dynamite, bow, bang, boom, jumping off the fucking, you know what I'm saying? He's knocking everybody out. He's ferocious. He's unstoppable. Everything you see on Manny Pacquiao is most likely just showing him on this, just fucking warpath. And everything mostly that you show on Errol Spence is complete opposite. He's getting beat up in sparring. He's so slow. You know what I'm saying? It's just ridiculous to me, some of the stuff I'm seeing. So I try to stay away from it, and just to knock it out the whole, what I think about the leaked footage of Errol Spence sparring. I don't think nothing of it is sparring, and it's ridiculous for people to reach that far to try to find weaknesses on a strong chain. I mean, you trying to find a weak link on a strong chain from sparring. Good luck with that. But I don't think nothing of it is sparring. Um, Watching the boxing voice, listening to the boxing voice and the fight hype, and um, listening to the talk about Keith Thurman fighting the Javante Tank Davis, you can kind of miss me with that. Yes, it's marketable. It's Keith Thurman is a salesman. Javante Tank Davis is kind of on the rise. But I just think it's one of those fights that's just fantasy fight. And why? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't even really feasible, if it's not really going to come into fruition, if it's just one of those talks and then it just fades into, if it's a whole nother Gary Russell Jr. versus Terrence Bud Crawford, then why? You know what I'm saying? The Canelo versus Caleb Plant situation. Once again, to be expected. You get arguments on both sides that are just too unbalanced. Negotiations is negotiations. When you get somebody trying to negotiate shit, both parties are going to come with some ridiculous, you know what I'm saying, request, and try to say, well, if you negotiate for $200, somebody going to rebuttal back with 2 pennies. That's just the way the game goes. Motherfuckers speeding down the street and shit, man. I hate that shit. But it is what it is. It's just negotiations that sometimes it's not gonna work, sometimes it's gonna work. Unfortunately, it's not gonna work. I don't want to say any fighter is necessary. You know what I want to talk about? Honestly, negotiations fails through. Who cares? Canelo is gonna be good. No matter who he fights right now, it's gonna be an exciting fight for me. I like to see Canelo work. Period. Point blank. He busting orbital bones. He's knocking biceps off of the fucking bone. He fucking destructive. He's exciting. He's entertaining. Right now, he's the cash cow of boxing, and I don't care who he fights. If it's a good fight, it's gonna make sense to me. He's not fighting. He's not only besides Yildirim. He's not fighting guys that I don't want to see him fight. I like the Caleb Smith fight. I like this Sergey Kovalev, even though I thought it was a little, Sergey Kovalev was coming off of a tough fight with Anthony Yard. But other than that, Caleb Smith, uh, the fight with Billy Joe Saunders, great fights. Canelo, salute. Um, Real quick, man, I wanted to talk about Errol Spence. Um, Lions only, Jamel Charlo and his shortcoming with the Castano fight, Brian Castano, and Errol Spence going into this Manny Pacquiao fight. One of my only concerns with Errol Spence is will the, and I don't think this is going to happen, but the possibility did cross my mind, is the moment going to be too big for Errol Spence? Because that's what I really think happened with Jamel Charlo and Brian Castellano. I think the moment was too big for Jamel Charlo. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the actual moment of the fight. I'm talking about the aftermath. I'm talking about when you achieve a goal, when you reach a peak, and then you have to go, you have it, boxing in life is like about peaks and valleys. You know what I'm saying? You go up and you go down. And Jamel Charlo, you know, was on a high, and he kind of leveled and plateaued off with Brian Castano, because in my mind, I think the moment was too big, whereas he still needs to have those goals. He has to reach for those stars. And I think he just kind of sabotaged himself mentally in a way, because him achieving that goal, the aftermath, you know what I'm saying, the next day would have been, what's next. And I don't think he was ready to face that what's next, that lull, that shade of gray area. Like Tyson Fury says, after he won against Vladimir Klitschko, he just hit that depression wall, because I accomplished everything. I don't have nothing left. You know what I'm saying? And that can happen to Errol Spence with Manny Pacquiao. The moment could be too big if he's worried about the aftermath, not the actual fight, not the leading up to the fight, but after the fight. Like when he fought and won against Danny Garcia, they asked him what was he going to do next, and he was nonchalant, cool, stoic. I'm gonna go back on my farm, maybe buy me some more horses, buy me some more cows. You know what I'm saying? Because his mentality has been rearranged from what he was when he fought Sean Porter. What do you do after you fight Sean Porter? I go out clubbing, hanging out, drinking, and rolling the damn car that I almost lost my life in. So, still, when him going against Manny Pacquiao has been to the peaks, he's been through the valleys, and he's been back to the peaks. He has the experience of reclimbing the Mount Everest, seeing the top, coming down, climbing back up. This will be a high peak for Errol Spence. It'll be the highest he's climbed, and the the valley, the decline after Manny Pacquiao, what's next past Manny Pacquiao, might get into his head to where he doesn't perform at his best, because the moment might be too big for him, because he might not have a plan for what's next. Now, I think his mind is going to be in the right place, you know what I'm saying? Because I think he's just really taking this fight in stride, and his mind is kind of zoned in on accomplishing that goal. And I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to, you know, rise to the occasion, achieve that greatness, and then he will be able to find a way to kind of level off and not dip down so low, mental wise, physical wise, and all those things. He's not going to just completely regress back into, well, now I done accomplished everything. What's next? I'm going to go start to sabotage my life. I'm going to start drinking. And no, I think he's finding balance as he gets older in life and more mature. I think he's reaching a prime. And when you get into prime, prime is just not your physical form. Prime is also your mental, your family, your spiritual, and everything that's encompassed in yourself. And I think he's going to be at a good place where he's going to be ready to achieve this amount of greatness without worrying about the aftermath of being on a higher level, being more famous, having more money, having more fame, and having more accolades. That is a pro and a con. The more money, more problems. More success, more problems. More fame, more problems. You know what I'm saying? When you accomplish goals, every time you accomplish a goal, you have to understand there's going to be a side effect of a little bit of depression. Like real talk boxing, He just finished fighting. He fought his exhibition match against Biker Dave. I'm sure he was on a high. Went out with his family, probably celebrated a little bit, but when he got back home, he probably had to wind his mentality down just a little bit because he was revved up. And then you get home and life goes back to normal. And then the next thing you know, he's already saying, hey man, King Slender 2.0, I want you because he wants to spike that back up. He wants to get all those endorphins and the muscle and the blood and the guts and the testosterone. He want to pump that right back up while he's in his prime to go knock out another guy that's talking tough. And Errol Spence and any fighter and anybody that accomplished any goal knows once you accomplish a goal, there is a moment afterwards mentally where you can hit plateaus and you can hit lows and you can have to rethink and recalibrate on how to make the adjustments to not being up on the high looking across the land when you back down in the trenches, when everything changes, when you back down in the lows and you looking at another peak and saying, can I climb that too or do I stop right here? But I think Errol Spence is going to climb. He's going to put his flag there, and then I think he's going to find a level, and then I think he's going to climb just a little bit more too. And I think Manny Pacquiao is the person that is best suited to prepare him for that. You know what I'm saying? Not every great champion knows how to pass the torch correctly. They drop the baton and let the damn torch go out. Bow, 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 bow. Salute from Nocturnal Thoughts. Don't forget, go check out King Castleside, uh, our Castleside King, and go check out Biker Dave. Bow, bow, bow. I'm gone.